You cannot see today. Not yet. You can only stand at its door and decide whether to go in. 100 years ago, a young poet asked an older one how to live with everything he could not yet answer. And the reply he got is still the sharpest instruction available to anyone standing at the door of an unopened day. The poet was Franz Capus, 20 years old, unsure of his path, writing letters to Rainer Maria Rilke, asking for guidance. Rilke wrote back 10 times over 4 years, and one line from that correspondence has outlived almost everything else he published. Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then, gradually, without noticing it, live your way into the answer. Read that as an instruction, not a comfort. Rilke is not telling the young poet to relax. He is telling him where to put his attention. Not on the locked door at the end of the year, the one marked career, worth, whether this was the right path. On the door, directly in front of him, this morning, the one he actually has a key to. Most first hours are spent trying to force the wrong door. The mind runs ahead to the version of today that is already finished, the reply that landed well, the meeting that went your way, the year that adds up to something. None of that door is available yet. It will not open no matter how long you stand there rattling the handle. The only door built to open this morning is the one right in front of you. This task, this hour, this one page. There is a discipline that treats this literally, not as metaphor. Islam's dawn prayer, Salat al-Fajr, is performed before sunrise, obligatory, unhurried, and observed by close to 2 billion people, ideally, before the rest of the world has fully woken. It does not wait for the day to prove itself first. It claims the first hour on principle, while the outcome of everything else is still completely unknown. The discipline is not a bet on how the day will turn out. It is a commitment made before there is any evidence either way. That is the piece most people skip. They wait for clarity before they commit. Wait to know the year will work out before they give it their full morning. But clarity was never the price of entry. The dawn prayer does not wait to see if the day earns it. Rilke does not tell the young poet to wait until the questions resolve. Both of them point to the same instruction. Live inside the hour you actually have before you know how any of it ends. Think about what living the question looks like at your own desk. It looks like opening the document you do not yet know how to finish and writing the first honest sentence anyway. It looks like starting the difficult conversation without a guaranteed outcome scripted in advance. It looks like showing up to the hour that is uncertain instead of waiting for the hour that is safe, because the safe hour, the one where every door is already unlocked and every answer is already known, is not coming. It was never going to. There is relief in this if you let it land. You are not required to solve today before you enter it. You are only required to enter it. The locked room does not need a master key. It needs you to walk in and start moving the furniture that is actually in reach, one piece at a time, and trust that the answer, if it comes at all, comes from the living, not from the waiting. Notice, too, what waiting actually costs. The person who refuses to start the project until the whole shape of it is clear is not being careful. She is trading a real hour, the only kind she will ever get, for a hypothetical hour that has not arrived and might never arrive in the form she is picturing. Rilke's own life makes the point without meaning to. He never lived to see how the young poet's career turned out, never got the resolved answer he was, in some sense, also living toward. The questions outlived him. The living of them did not need to wait for that ending, and neither does yours. And this is not a private practice, kept to correspondence between a poet and a stranger. It is repeated deliberately every single day by people who never met each other and never read the same letters. The dawn prayer is not performed once, as proof of faith settled. It is performed daily at the same uncertain hour, regardless of how yesterday went or how today might go. The discipline is in the repetition, not in the resolution. You do not get to live the question once and be done with it. You live it again tomorrow and the morning after that, until the living itself becomes the only proof you are ever going to get. So before this first hour asks anything else of you, notice which door you have been standing in front of. Not the one at the end of the year, the one that is still locked, the one no amount of worry will open early. The one right here, the page in front of you, the call you have not made yet, the question you have been avoiding because you do not have the answer. You do not need the answer. You need to walk through the door you actually have a key to and let today be lived instead of solved. So open the one door in front of you and leave the locked ones alone for now. I live the question in front of me instead of demanding the answer first. I give this hour my full attention, not the year's uncertainty. I claim this morning before I know how the day turns out. I move the one piece of furniture actually in reach, and I let that be enough. I stop rattling the locked door and start living inside the room I am actually in. That is the instruction a poet gave a stranger over 100 years ago, and it still opens the same door this morning. Live the question, not the answer. If that gave you something to carry into this first hour, stay with this channel, where every morning is a door you already have the key to. And before you go, what question have you been trying to force an answer out of too early? Write it below. I read each one. Begin disciplined. End reflective. Now rise.